probably was like Thursday or so. I was driving into work and I decided to play a meditation on Headspace because I didn't have the time to properly meditate in the home. I like to start my day, especially my work days, with like a solid 5-6 minute meditation, just so I can be grounded in my body before I go out into the world. But this particular day, I was running late, per usual, like fussing, just kind of upset about circumstances. You know what, I'm not going to give up on myself, right? I'm going to continue to push through because I deserve solitude. I deserve to feel at peace in myself and my body. I deserve to feel centered. I deserve to feel in control of my day. So I played a little meditation on Headspace, and it was one on awareness of the observer. I'm driving and I'm just observing the trees, finding myself kind of like loosening up. I was holding on to a lot of just like frustration and aggravation about having to go into work, go into a job, having to commit my time to this, where it's time I can be doing blah, blah, just blah, 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 just mad, just angry. I'm getting deeper and deeper into the meditation, and it comes a part where the facilitator asks you to count up to 10 and then backwards. These thoughts just want your attention, and when you count in meditation, it's just like, okay, these things are beginning to swirl around, but they're more so swirling in the background, and the counting is more so in the forefront. So I'm counting, and I feel myself getting deeper and deeper into the meditation while, mind you, I'm driving. I'm getting deeper. That anger, that frustration, that agitation that had been running rampant, that kind of was the energy that I left out the house with, the energy that I had been driving with this entire time, that had been with me during this whole meditation. The world around me silent. In this moment, I just sat with that frustration, that agitation. Me sitting with difficult emotions is a very hard thing to do. It's something that I've gotten better with on my self-love journey, but I've always kind of never felt like I did it right. And you hear so much about people saying you have to sit with these emotions, you have to make space for them. And it's just like, well, how do I properly do that when they hurts inside of my body? And I'm like, how do I make space for that? How do I accept it when it's causing pain? Because rightfully so, when something hurts, your first reaction is to, I'm like, you know what, I gotta sit with this. I have to sit with this in my way, in my understanding of sitting with tough emotion. Further into it, and I feel everything in my stomach. So I'm going deeper into my stomach, and I'm just like pulling it up. And then something clicked inside of me, and I truly believe it was my higher self. And my higher self told me, imagine that your frustration, your anger, this burning ball in the pit of your stomach, imagine that it has arms, and reach out to it and grab it and pull it up and hold its hand. In my mind, I grabbed that frustration, I pulled it up, and I'm holding my frustration's hand like this. And when I tell you, everything shifted inside of me. That anger turned into tears. It turned into sympathy, because now I'm sympathizing with this part of myself that is so angry and so frustrated because it is having to go through circumstances and experiences that it doesn't want to go through. And that was the first time that I was able to really ration out the anger and frustration that I have with working. And when I held on to it and I held the hand of it, it softened into me like a child. And so now I'm holding my anger and frustration as a child, as a baby, and I am now responsible of telling this part of myself that, like, look, I got you, I have you, it's going to be okay, like, I'm here for you, like, I'm going to protect you, I'm going to take care of you. But what is this really? And underneath that, it was fear. And I'm like, okay, what am I afraid of? And then through that, more stuff came up, which I won't disclose here, but in myself, I was able to make, out of a year of going into this environment that I've been working at, I finally, in the last week of May, was able to see why I hate it so much. My advice the next time you are sitting with these things, especially memories, if you're trying to digest maybe core memories or trying to figure out like what is the root cause of an uncomfortable emotion or uncomfortable feeling that you have when you're around a certain person or you're going to a certain environment, or whatever kind of like maybe resistance or blockages that keep coming up against that make you feel uncomfortable, that might make you sick. Some emotions can literally make you sick to your stomach. Some things can make your heart race. Some things can give you a headache. You just sit with that sensation, locate the sensation in the body, and then imagine that that sensation has hands, it has an arm, and I invite you to grab it, hold its hand in a loving embrace, and watch it melt, and watch that you will then understand what this really is. There might not be anything underneath there. Maybe it will just completely dissolve in itself, and you'll realize, I don't want to say like how silly it was, but you'll realize that it's a part of you that has now been turned to be a weapon against you. And now that you have approached this feeling from a place of love, you can now, you are able to transmute that energy into something much more beautiful, much more sound, much more comforting.